We applaud any governmental or NGO calling on Chinese government to end this brutal practice of criminalizing Uyghur people because of their ethnicity, because of their religious belief. This has been out of control. The world must speak up. The world must follow the suit and pressure the Chinese government to end and close down or shut down this concentration camps in the 21st century. Chinese government can say that this is about security concern, but it does not hold any water. The Chinese government's intention must be called out for what it is. Here I'd like to point out something very important to your audience. Any organizations that I'm affiliated with, the group that I have been working with, including myself, we condemn violence for whatever the reason. There's no excuse to use violence to make a political statement. The Chinese government likes to claim that they're have enforced these measures, draconian measures to achieve so-called social stability in national security, but it does not help to lock up innocent people out of a judiciary process. What the Chinese government has been doing actually, ironically, is in violation of its counterterrorism law, let alone the Constitution and its criminal law. The Chinese legal system, even though the Chinese government does not really follow or abide by, have a very clear instruction how to process someone accused of committing any crime. So one of the reasons that the Chinese government does not acknowledge the existence of the mass detention facilities that they've been building up is, one, they do know that it is in violation of their own constitution and its criminal law, and as well as their counterterrorism law. And also they don't want it to...
You say that China, sorry to interrupt, you say that China needs to be held accountable for these, for its actions. The US has gone as far as proposing sanctions against Beijing for its treatment of the Uyghur people. What more can you tell us about that?
Under the leadership of Senator Marco Rubio, Representative Christopher Smith, 2 days ago, United States Congress released a joint bipartisan letter. This is not about politics anymore. This is about humanitarian concern. A humanitarian crisis, human rights, one of the worst human rights crises is unfolding on our watch in China for the Uyghur people. This letter speaks volume of the severity of the situation. When you look at the names in this letter, you will see Senator Ben Carson, who is the original author of the Magnitsky Act, later become a global Magnitsky Act. The United States government must use this legal tool to sanction those abusive Chinese officials who are responsible for the atrocities taking place in Uyghurs' homeland, East Turkestan today.
And can you give us a sense of how the Uyghur people are discriminated against in Western China?
Since the racial discrimination against the Uyghur people have been ongoing for a very long time. But since last April, it has reached the worrisome level. In today's Uyghur society, Uyghur ethnic identity is something treated by the Chinese government as something, a tumor that they need to eradicate. And Uyghurs' religious belief is considered something a mental disease. So as long as you show any sign of ethnic values, cultural and traditional signs, such as wearing Uyghur clothes, adhering to the Islamic diet, or staying in marriage within the Uyghur ethnic group, or refusing to drink, that kind of social behaviors are sanctioned. We're not talking about religious practice. The fact that you cherish, adhere, and practice, appreciate Uyghurs' centuries-old ethno-national identity can be seen as a sign of extremism in today's Chinese society.